was noticed by publishers, and offers poured in from them. The printed edition was published in May of 2004 by the publishing house VES and immediately hit the top 10 bestsellers. I remember that those books were sold everywhere, in underground passages, in markets, in the subway. I looked at it and it seemed to me that this was not happening to me, or rather separately from me, and the books were not mine at all. They could not be mine. Am I some kind of writer? It was a strange feeling. Further developments were avalanche-like. Books are translated into all major languages and published in more than 20 countries. The recognition of transurfing in the information field is growing. New books are published which immediately hit the top bestsellers. Transurfing schools are emerging all around the world. I don't understand why this happened. After all, publishers who are well versed in literature immediately realize that this literature is not for everyone. That is, it should not bring commercial benefits. And for some reason, readers decided otherwise, that transurfing is just for them, although later many probably still realized it was not for them, since not everyone began to apply it in practice. But even then, there have been and continue to receive numerous reviews that the principles of transurfing significantly improve the quality of people's lives. And for some people, they even revive or save their lives. I received a lot of letters from prisons writing that the books warm the soul and give hope. Further, with the advent of smartphones and social networks, the density of discussion and exchange of experience in the readership increases significantly. Electronic versions are actively distributed in pirate networks, as a result of which it is no longer possible to estimate how many millions of readers Transurfing has. To date, the books have been published in the following countries: Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, well, a whole bunch of countries. In the Arab region, for example, transurfing arouses especially keen interest, and they accept Tufti Iftat almost as their priestess. In Japan, too, transurfing was released a long time ago, and now they're going to publish Tufti. Apparently, they believe it's worth that. Such examples speak volumes because it's very difficult to interest such self-absorbed and local cultures with something from the outside. Recently, according to some signs, a new wave of interest in transurfing has been rising. And for some reason, the attention of foreign publishers has noticeably been revived right now. So we're waiting for a new wave, a wave of good luck to all of us. Tufti the Priestess 2, Event Management. The publishing house VES has published an illustrated gift edition of Tufti 2 Event Management. The book can be found on the main trading platforms, and there's a wide range of prices from different sellers. The gift edition is distinguished by the fact that snails are depicted on the cover. The description of the book should also indicate this is an illustrated edition so as not to confuse anyone. The artist worked on the illustrations for a long time and diligently. That would be Anna Liebman. The pictures, in addition to the priestess's trademark humor, give the book a festive flavor and fun. Let me remind you what the book is about. In essence, it's that unlike classical transurfing where reality is controlled indirectly, Tufti's techniques affect reality directly, including specific events. The slogan of transurfing is reality exists independently of you as long as you agree with it. You can agree or disagree, but still your reality walks on its own even if you do nothing with it. You can tune the antennae of your mental radiation with the help of the slide technique, amalgam, so that reality understands in general terms what you want from it. However, events take their course and often do not go in the right direction. Certain life captures and ultimately controls you. Current life captures and ultimately controls you, not you. What if you need to solve the nearest specific problem in this current series of events? For example, pass an exam, pass an interview, get a promotion, ensure the successful completion of any business or situation plan. This is precisely why the Tufti techniques were given to us. They allow you to predetermine the final outcome of any event, specifically what it is you wish to achieve. Navigating life with the amalgam that my world will take care of everything is of course easier and more comforting. However, this is the mindset of a small child and does not resolve every problem. If we are to approach this like adults, surely we can take matters into our own hands to ensure everything unfolds successfully. Nothing could be simpler. You merely have to go ahead and set a specific event in motion. For those who do so, consider it done. You have only to reach out and claim it. Why rely on fate or chance? Not to mention that awakening in the context of transurfing occurs only in a state of semi-consciousness, as if with eyes half closed. But the awakening within a waking dream, as taught by Tufte, now that truly is something to behold. Many who have attempted to awaken in this manner have observed a curious phenomena. The people around them begin to look on with curiosity, as if sensing that something is about you is different, and for some inexplicable reason, they find themselves drawn to you with a sense of warmth and affinity. Classic transurfing is by no means superseded. Indeed, it serves as the essential starting point. However, Tufte represents the graduate level of this discipline. In the second volume, the Tufte techniques are further developed and I hope explained with even greater clarity. If you struggled to achieve results in the past, you will surely succeed this time around. And of course, this book is written from Tufte's perspective and in Tufte's distinctive style. While this approach may not appeal to everyone, it is neither a personal invention of mine nor a mere whim. The book arrives in the form it takes at the source from which it originates. Moreover, Tufte herself is not a fictional character, but a historical figure, a real priestess of the Temple of Isis who lived in Egypt between 970 and 911 BC. And her spirit remains very much alive to this day, continuing to transmit information. Why then is it presented in this particular style? First of all, such is the nature of the priestess. She is, after all, a living being. Second, I suspect this serves as a kind of protective barrier, ensuring that this information does not fall into the wrong hands. Individuals with an unstable psyche or an inflated ego should not be entrusted with these techniques, lest they cause harm to those around them or themselves. Such people simply won't be able to read Tufte. They will find it jarring. But for those who are at peace with themselves and possess a healthy sense of humor, they will thoroughly enjoy it. Clean nutrition. The publishing house VES has reissued the book Pure Nutrition, a title that has long been unavailable for purchase. This is an illustrated gift edition and as such is being released in limited print runs. What the book is about. Over the course of history, humanity has accumulated a wealth of beneficial and sensible dietary traditions, but also a great many misconceptions. We have chosen to embrace only the very best and wisest of these practices. The book presents a compromise between living food, raw foodism, and traditional cuisine. Everything is kept simple, quick, and delicious for the sake of beauty, health, and strength. The everyday cuisine of our ancestors was simple and straightforward. Spending time on culinary experimentation was considered an unaffordable luxury. That time was better spent on other pursuits. Meals therefore needed to be simple. A choice that is better for one's health makes for a simpler life and yields greater overall benefits. Simple dishes need not be flavorless. As you may have noticed, chefs in restaurants often strive to create something truly unimaginable, making sheer complexity for true culinary artistry. Mistaking the complexity for artistry. The result is a dish designed more for the eyes than the palate. Nor does a complex dish necessarily equate to a tasty one. Moreover, the elaborate food, the more difficult it is for the body to digest. Our ancestors, and indeed people of many cultures, were well aware of this fact. Where culinary experimentation begins, good health ends. For the sake of health, a dish should be composed as simply as possible, or at least consist of ingredients that pair well together. But above all, it must be made from natural ingredients. Over the last century and a half, food technology has stubbornly pursued a path of seemingly deliberate overcomplication. It began with the stripping away of the outer husk from grains, thereby depriving the product of its most valuable component, fiber, and the germ. Subsequently, yeast, preservatives, and various food additives came into widespread use. Then, even more sophisticated chemistry was invented, and as the crowning achievement of this dietary madness came GMOs. The result is a strange spectacle. People eat and fall ill. They fall ill and eat, giving absolutely no thought to the cause and effect. They age rapidly, grow bloated and flabby, and can barely move. Yet they continue to eat exactly what they are accustomed to. It's particularly sad to see and observe performers who not so long ago were so beautiful and radiant and who have faded so quickly, literally before our very eyes. This is indeed madness, though it's not generally perceived as such. Precisely because it is a collective phenomena, food technologies were introduced gradually and ubiquitously, following a simple principle. First you try it, and then it becomes a habit. And a habit, once ingrained at a societal level, creates the illusion of collective safety. Yet, the illusion of herd immunity offers absolutely no guarantee of actual safety. As the herd hurtles towards the precipice, the journey feels merry and carefree. Everyone is running together, so here there is no cause for fear. What lies ahead remains unseen, And truth be told, no one really wants to think about it anyway. But eventually, a moment arrives when the herd continues its headlong rush, while you, having fallen behind, find yourself in deep trouble. Or perhaps you find yourself standing at the very edge, only to discover that it is, in fact, a precipice. In fact, you never knew that. Behind you, the carefree herd continues to press forward, and your time has come. And while it all feels rather unfair, it's already too late. The solution is simple. You must break away from the herd, master the fundamentals, and live in accordance with the laws of nature. The history of scientific achievement and technologies spans mere decades. The evolution of nature, however, is measured in hundreds of millions of years. What does this yield? It allows us to keep the party going for a good deal longer. And for those who were once beautiful and happy, yet have lost so much along life's journey, there's a chance to start everything anew. Illnesses and ailments resolve themselves naturally. All body functions gradually return to optimal working order. Physical fitness and outward appearance improve significantly. Overall vitality increases and a zest for life is reawakened. The mind clears, the nervous system and sleep patterns stabilize. Intellect, reflexes, perception, and the senses become sharper. The aging process slows down perceptibly. This book outlines the principles of pure nutrition. It offers simple yet beneficial recipes accompanied by the author's own photographs and explains why one should avoid falling into extremes, such as fanatical raw foodism or various fad diets invented by others. A further elaboration of these pure nutrition principles can be found in the second book, The Ancestral Kitchen, which highlights yet another fundamental principle, one forged through thousands of years of accumulated experience. Our ancestors invented nothing arbitrarily, nor did they deceive, least of all themselves. However, this refers specifically to our distant ancestors, those from the pre-Petrine era, rather than our immediate forebears who over the last few centuries have lost or distorted almost all of that ancient wisdom. And of course, pure nutrition constitutes an integral part of our objectives during this period of transition, transformation, and regeneration and evolution, coupled with a spiritual awakening. For all these goals are scarcely attainable if the physical body remains in a state of degradation. The book is available on all major online marketplaces. To find it, search for the query, it's going to be Cristofani, I don't even know, as standard search algorithms. Often confuse the term with something else. I don't think that's a great translation. Well, that completes this book. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Ton of information I'll be putting out, as I said, everything possible to bring us all up to speed with current Zeland stuff. I'm even going to be hopping on his website to the most current things that are truly not available in English to anyone, because this is important material, and I would love it if someone who spoke Russian helped, but for right now I'm going to do my best.